afternoon, and good evening. My name is Sir Meerkat, and welcome back to the Moto Meerkat channel. Now, although Formula E has been clowned on in the sort of online motorsport space, particularly for its not so enjoyable throttle noise, the series has certainly been at the forefront of many technological innovations in the racing world in recent times, and it's being joined on the electric forefront of motorsport this year by Extreme E. Let's just hope that Extreme E sounds a little bit better. Since the series started in 2014, the Formula E base car has gone through a significant change, with the Formula E Gen 1 car being used from obviously Season 1 all the way up until the end of Season 4, when it would be replaced by the Gen 2 car. Who would have guessed that? Looking very, very different to its predecessor. Firstly, sporting a halo, which was implemented alongside Formula 1 by the FIA, and for the first time, the wheels were enclosed into the bodywork, with the front wing and wheel arches now kind of infused together. And in addition, the power unit was also massively upgraded for Gen 2, with the amount of usable energy rising from 28 kilowatts to 54 kilowatts. That is almost an increase of double. And apart from creating more power, the bolstered power unit also provided a change that would completely alter Formula E races at their core. This was because up to this point, during each race, the drivers must come in to the pit lane at least once, where they would actually switch cars. Yes, you heard me right, they would hop out of one car and get back into an identical car. What? Now, although the procedures were slightly glamorized by the series, I mean, fair enough, you gotta do what you gotta do, with fans claiming that it added all this drama and that it was clearly a planned addition to the sport. In reality, I don't really think it was. It was simply a cover-up for the fact that at the time, electric innovation and electric technologies were not quite up to the standard that we now see them at today, and it was simply the fact that they could not reach a whole race distance. The safety of these pit stops was brought into question on multiple occasions. Not only the fact that the rushing of belt tightening to save a few tenths of a second could prove fatal if the driver were to crash before having the opportunity to finish tightening them off themselves. This was in fact mitigated by the addition of a minimum pit stop time, but the point does still stand. In addition to this, even just the fact that there were live cars driving in and out of the pit boxes with melees of team personnel attempting to create the smoothest transitions possible from car to car, it was only a matter of time before there was an accident. Such as when Sam Bird sent it straight into this stack of tyres at the Hong Kong E-Prix in Season 4. Watch out for your feet, boys. But for Generation 2, these pit stops were no longer necessary, as the batteries were actually able to make it a full race distance. Wow! But a race without pit stops to me just seems a little bit wrong. It can't just be me, surely. And for Generation 3, Formula E might be making pit stops return. This Generation 3 car was announced by Formula E in 2020 to be introduced for Season 8 in 2022. However, with the introduction of the Gen 2 Evo sort of upgrade to the current car being pushed back thanks to the outbreak of you-know-what, it's likely that Generation 3 is also going to be pushed back too, but there is no confirmation of that at the moment. But anyway, for this Generation 3 car, there are many more changes to be had, with the car becoming slightly smaller, slightly lighter, and slightly faster. 3 big thumbs up for me on those fronts, lads. But one fascinating feature which was included in the FIA's report was the possibility of fast charge pit stops. The documents go on to explain that each car for Generation 3 must be capable of being fully charged in 45 minutes and having a 30-second fast charge ability. And it is this fast charging ability which has significantly made my head turn. Now, we obviously don't know yet how much charge is going to be able to be transferred to the car in that 30-second period, but it could provide provide a whole new world of strategies in Formula E. It's most likely that they'll implement this in a way as such, basically by putting a big plate in each pit box that the cars will then park on top of during the pit stop to then receive a top up of electrical energy. Similarly to how a wireless phone charger does it, but obviously on quite the larger scale. This could mean that the teams could decide before or even during a race whether they want to push for personal best lap times and make a stop for extra electricity, or be conservative and eke out the battery life to the end. Now, we've obviously seen similar brilliant strategic battles in Formula 1 around fuel saving, so why could we not see just as exhilarating battles in Formula E when talking about electrical energy? Although the FIA stated that they would be providing a bespoke charging system including the energy supply, the distribution network and the charging equipment in these documents, this could be opened up as a competitive area of innovation in the future, where we may see a driver gain a position because the charging system their team was able to create inputted power slightly faster than the other team's charging equipment gave to the competitor. But I also do understand that this could create some new issues as well, especially around budgetary restraints, as innovation in these types of areas, even for the smallest amount of gains, can cost millions and millions of pounds. Now, we've seen issues of budget cropping up more and more and more in motorsport in recent years. Obviously, we all know that motorsport is a type of sport that involves quite a bit of money to get into, and we've seen this budget cap strolling in to Formula 1 in recent years. Oh, my jokes keep getting better and better. And we could see similar things implemented in Formula E in the future, which could then have an impact on this kind of technological innovation of the charging. But again, it's all open for speculation and interesting to see where the sport decides to move in future. But what do you think? Would the re-implication of pit stops in Formula E enhance the racing experience and add a nice little extra element of strategy? Or would it simply nullify the on-track battles and instead lead to a battle between which team has the biggest wallet? I'd love to know all of your opinions down in the comments below. But if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to drop a like on it. I do really appreciate that. And subscribe to the Moto Meerkat channel as well, so you don't miss any of my future motorsport content, including next week's episode of the ChatterBox podcast, which will be featuring a certain Formula 2 driver by the name of Teo Pourchaire. So you're not going to want to miss out on that one. Be sure to subscribe below. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you Meerkats later. Goodbye, guys.